All right, so today, real quick, brief chat. I don't know how brief it is. I'm walking home, taking a walk in the morning. We can talk about security at your job, okay? We're talking about, I had a conversation yesterday where we were talking about, there's a couple. One person is more in favor of security, concerned for the future, wanting to make sure we have a steady income coming in, believes that the way to do that is through salary. The other person, a little more energetic, a little more risk-taking. I believe the word is risk-adverse. More interested in maybe, not risk-averse, I'm sorry, a little more risk-tolerant. Risk-averse would be the opposite. A little more risk-tolerant and, more interested in trying to create his own life, right? Create his own path to security. So, look, here's a couple of things behind that. It takes a certain mindset to be an entrepreneur, right? And to be a true entrepreneur. So, for example, even in my situation, I am 100% autonomous right now. For a long time, I had, my employer, but I always had my side business that kept growing, and I stalled my side business for my employer. So, it's not like I was suffering, right? It wasn't a bad thing. It was a conscious decision I made as a free, rational adult and human being, because at some point, I used to think we still have freedom in this country, at least somewhere. At least for yourself, you do. So, excuse me, I have to spit like a disgusting creature. Nasty. Anyway, so at least at some point, I made this free, rational decision as a conscious adult I'm going to stall my business a little, keep working there. Whatever happened, we parted ways recently, shit hit the fan, and that's it. No one's upset, no hard feelings, business is business, whatever the case is, but, you have to be, so now at this point, I'm 100% on my own. So, you have to understand. So, talk about security, right? That was a really good company I was with. They were a very good company, very good people. I have nothing bad to say about anybody. And I was there for 11 years, right? But think about it, 11 years and I left with nothing, right? So, the reality is, these people that think you have security, you don't have security even with a large private employer. You don't have security because unless you conform to all the rules and you do everything the way they want you to do, there's always a possibility they're going to cut you off. There's always a possibility they're going to drop you out, right? They're going to let go of you. And that's kind of like, you take that for granted because you think you're going to work every day. You see your paychecks coming in every other week, so you take it for granted and you think it can never happen to you. It happens to everybody. I was there for 11 years, right? You would think a long time. And quite frankly, my numbers were great. I was a fantastic employee. I found out in the end that I had over 800, cases open, and that I was actively following, whether it be through billing or whether it be through winding down or whatever the case is, versus I think my second place had 200 and change. So I was a great employee, did a lot of work. But whatever, right? There's other factors at play that determine your job. You could, your terms and conditions of your job. Are you following the rules? Are you, is something a conflict or whatever the case is? But the bigger point I'm trying to say is here, even if it's a great private employer, you're not going to have the security you think you're clamoring for. In this particular instance, it was a union. Unions give you a little bit more protection. You can file a grievance proceeding. It's a little more difficult to just let you go. It can't be just on a whim. You usually have a collective bargaining agreement, which is a group version of a contract, right? So they can't just let you go in that situation. But there's still mechanisms in place to, if they have an issue, to terminate you. You could be suspended without pay. You could be suspended with pay. Suspended pending investigation. Investigation plays against your favor. You could be terminated. So again, it's the same situation, just a little different. I've had a couple of people. Now, obviously, you can't discuss your clients, but I have a couple of situations, a couple of clients in which we had issues with internal affairs, in which we had issues with other governing bodies that made it possible to let them go with, even in a union, right? So you don't have that security in a union either that you think you do. You have a little bit more, but you don't have it. Look, in this world, okay, the only way you're going to truly get the only way you're truly going to be able to plan a future for yourself, as crazy as it sounds, is being in your own business. You have to trust the system. You have to have faith and trust in your own product, that you could sell your product to others. You could sell what you service. You could sell what you offer to others. I offer legal services. I offer a lot of services, right? I could do traditional legal services where I, could file lawsuits. I could defend you in court. I could file motions, I could write briefs, blah, 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 blah. Or I also offer, like these unique alternative legal services. A lot of ghostwriting, a lot of kind of like speaking through you. I have a small business program that I do on behalf of people with like specialty pricing for small businesses to get more businesses involved. Like kind of like legal branding. I've, tried to create this system in which you could take the currently existing marketing structure we have in this country. You could tie it into the, kind of like legal intellectual property protections. And I have like a system in place. Like these are all services I provide, but I need to feel comfortable that I can sell these to people. And it's that which is going to get you the security you need, because you bring value, because your value is based on yourself. Okay. And this is where it's key. The only person I can blame for my failure in life is me. No one pays me a salary. I don't have PTO. I don't have sick days. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have any of that. And it's fine, because from my perspective, I can make more money, and I have more freedom than anyone else does. There's no NDA I gotta give a shit about. There's no handbook I gotta give a shit about. There's none of that. I don't care about any of that, because no one can tell me shit. I'm my own employer, and I make my own terms and conditions. And at some point in life, you can't always look for security. You can't always look for safety. You can't always look for comfort or the easiest way out. Because quite frankly, the second you step out of your house in the morning, you can be shot dead. And this is Brooklyn. So I have, probably 2 weeks ago, I think 5 people got shot in broad daylight. Yesterday, a 4-year-old got shot in a crossfire in the midday. This is Brooklyn. Every day you walk out of your house in the morning, it's a risk where you can get hurt and get killed, right? So you're never going to get 100% absolute certainty, okay? So you need to learn to embrace the uncertainty. Uncertainty is not bad. It's what you do with uncertainty. It's what you do with this pressure is what's going to help you in life. You need to realize, and all of you that are involved in your own business, trying to establish and build who you are as a human being, all of you need to realize that you offer a service. You offer a service well. You need to believe in your service, the service that you offer. And you also need to believe in yourself that every day is going to be great. Because if you believe that every day is a risk and a problem, and you spend your whole life trying to avoid that risk for the easiest way out, you have a problem. Then you shouldn't leave your couch in the morning. Because getting up off your couch means risk. Okay? Walk into the train station. You could slip on the steps. You could get mugged and robbed on the way to the train. You could sit on the train and get mugged and robbed, which is probably more likely than you failing in business. Is more likely you getting mugged and robbed on the train, especially in Brooklyn. Like, there's so much risk involved, and we haven't even touched business risk yet, right? We're just talking about generally in life. Obviously, what the business risk is, but I think the problem is that all of you are seeing the forest before the trees. You're seeing this big perspective of business and everything that go wrong, and you disregard everything else that's underneath it, and you take that for granted. And that's where the problem lies. Guys and girls, there's risk everywhere, okay? You can't live your life in fear that you're not going to succeed. You just need to be smart. You try something, you push something, okay? It works, it hits, you take it as far as you can go. You get bored, you offer a new service. Or the service isn't biting, offer a different service. In any industry, there are 400 million things you can do in any industry. There really is. And if you can't think of a category, it's time to invent a category. I found no comparator for myself, for my small business service. I found no comparator. So I offer this comparator as an alternative. Maybe I get really lucky and happy, and I get really well known, and it takes off, and everybody does it. I don't know, right? So I don't know what the situation, I don't know what the end game is going to be for me, but one thing I do know, I will not fail based on my own lack of effort. If I make bad business decisions, okay, that's fine. You grow with experience. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's happy. Right now, I'm optimistic, but maybe it was a stupid decision to get rid of my safe salary, right? I don't know. All I know is I offer, from my perspective, the greatest product in the world. I'm e-commerce based. I'm internet based. So from my perspective, there's 300 million people in the United States, 300 million different potential clients I could get, and this is really the mentality you need to have. So, I just, and let's put it this way. It's something you have to learn to feel comfortable with. I've come to the conclusion in my life that there are certain people that have like this mentality, this pre-existing mentality they're okay with, where you could accept it. I am so sorry. I have like a smoker's spit factory going on. I don't know why. I don't smoke. So so I've come to the realization that it has less to do with your kind of like less to do with what you could be what you learn, and more to do with basically just your general composition of your body type and your personality. There are risk takers and there are those that are risk averse. But one thing I do want to advise is respect them both. To don't forego your opportunity to make something great out of yourself and your life, something you'd be much more happy in exchange for security and safety. Because you know what, quite frankly, that's the problem with this country right now. The problem with this country right now is everybody is foregoing exercise and fitness and eating healthy, and in exchange they're taking a shot and putting on double mask, even though the double mask does nothing and the shot has all kinds of like unknown shit that could happen that people are reporting. And talk about had this conversation yesterday. Also, keep in mind that anything having to do with all these adverse effects on pregnant women, they will never be a study because you cannot test on pregnant women. So, I don't know. I'm ending this here. This is it's longer than I want. I was hoping to be a 5-minute rant, and plus I want to go back to work because being on my own, I got to make money. But moral of the story is, don't give up the entrepreneurial spirit. If you have it, embrace it, shoot it, go for it. Don't give up your freedom, your integrity, and your ability to control your life the way you see it in exchange for security, in exchange for safety. Embrace the insecurity, embrace the fire. Believe me, trust me, nothing easy is secure, and nothing worth having is just handed to you, okay? There is a certain feeling you get when you create it yourself. There's a certain feeling you get when you work for yourself, and you wake up in the morning, you do it for yourself, okay? Especially if you love what you're doing. And to all those family members, and this stems from yesterday's conversation, because one thing I've learned in life, the one that will doubt you the most, the one that will try the hardest to convince you that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, is your family. Your family will present the hardest argument for you against being risk-taking and being entrepreneurial. And they don't do it to be malicious. They do it because they're scared. But some of us aren't, okay? And quite frankly, there's nothing wrong with you being scared, but don't throw your fear on us, because one thing that you need to understand, if you're going to be successful in business, you need to be confident in what you deliver. If your deliverable is weak, and if you do not offer a good deliverable, you will not succeed. And you know what knocks your deliverables down is when your family, your loved ones and your family knock your deliverables and the quality that you send out, and make you think that what you're delivering is not worth it and not going to kick. So to those family members, you can convey, refrain from saying, if they have a hard day, I was afraid I told you one, because it will be better in the end. Again, stop seeing, look, you need to learn, there's more than just the trees, there's more than just the forest. You need to see the whole picture, you need to see everything. And that's my recommendation to all of you. So stop being scared, stop dragging down your loved ones who are trying. It will be fine. You have to have faith. The system will plan itself out. For more motivational speaking, find yourself a motivational speaker. But you can always call me and ask me questions. I'm more than happy to help. So not a big deal, not a problem. If you watch this video, enjoy it. I don't know, get on my newsletter, miladilaw.com. Go to the website, it's right there for you. Type in your email, get on my newsletter. There'll be more of this shit going on. And have a wonderful day. Wish you all the best. All the luck in your future. Yours in love, lives in law. Peace.